Okay, so first thing you need to know is that a regular polygon has all sides that are what? Congruent, and all angles are congruent. Okay, remember I'm recording. No, I'll tell you when to write down. What's a regular triangle called? Equilateral triangle. What's a regular quadrilateral called? A square. Okay, so this is where I want you to start writing down. The first thing you need to know is a radius connects the center to the vertex of the polygon. What that means is that if I have, I'm going to use a square as an example. If I have a square and I have the center, my radius would be connected to the corner. That's a radius. A new word we're learning today. It sounds like a possum if you had a list. It's called an apothum. So like if you're talking about a possum but you have a list. Apothum. Apothum. What an apothum is an apothum, y'all, connects, if I had a square, my center to the midpoint. So what would that mean about the side below it? This side is congruent to that side. By the way, Cynthia, your notebook is in the back. So your apothum connects your center to the midpoint of a side.
Should we draw?
I would draw the pictures if I were you. By the way, I think we're going to do 4 examples today. Yeah. You're probably going to take the front and back of your notes.
There's a radius of a square.
Yes. There's a radius of every regular polygon. Now, P, what does P, oh, by the way, apothum, when we talk about it, we represent that as little a. So this is A. And a radius we represent as R. P, y'all should already know, P stands for perimeter. It's usually capital. Not usually, it's always capital. And the new thing you're learning today, I would maybe take up 2 lines, box it, bold it. The formula for regular polygons. A equals 1/2 AP. Area equals half of the apothum times the perimeter. So again, area equals half. It's the apothum times the perimeter. That's what that little a stands for. Can I move on? Okay, I'll wait. Now? Okay, get them from a neighbor. So, if I have, I'm going to do this under the document camera because it's just easier. Here's example 1. If I want you to find the area of this quadrilateral. Now, this only works if it's regular. Again, what is it? I said quadrilateral. What the heck? Equilateral triangle. Nobody corrected me in here. Thank you. Oh.
We're paying attention.
I would write this down as example 1. This will only work if it's regular, and equilateral triangle is regular. So, what's my formula?
A equals 1/2 A.
Now, you could use 1/2 base times height, but do I know what the height is here? No, you can't if the center doesn't necessarily mean that that's in the middle. So, I have to use this formula. So, I'm going to do 1/2. What's my apothum?
4.
What's my apothem? 2.3. Remember, your apothem is from the center down.
Oh.
What's my perimeter going to be?
24.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can talk about perimeter. If this is 4, what do I know this is? 4. And so what's the entire side?
8.
And since it's equilateral, all the sides are 8. So what's 8 times 3? 24. Now, do you agree that technically, since this is 4 and it's half, what else could I have multiplied that 4 by?
2.
Well, no. If this is 4, to find the perimeter, why 6, Connor? It's double both of the sides, and then there are 3 sides. Does that make sense? Okay, let me say that again. If I know half the side is 4, do you agree that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half sides? So couldn't I just multiply that 4 times 6? So that's going to come into play in a little bit later. Okay, what's half of 2.3 times 24? So my answer is 27.6
Centimeters squared.
centimeters squared. Don't forget it. That is example 1.
What's the umbrella for?
That has, in the smartboard, I could slide it over to give you the answer, but obviously I'm on paper now, so I can't.
I drew the umbrella.
It
was part of the thing.
Alright, so I'm moving on. Example 2. Example 2, you don't have to draw. So I just want you to look up. Do you agree that a square is technically a regular polygon?
Yes.
Okay. If I tell you the radius is 6, do you agree that I could sit here, find the apothem, and do all, okay. FYI, you can do all that. I'm not going to do that because, in my opinion, that is the hard way to answer this question. Yes. Yes, you could do the 45, 45, 90 rules. That's exactly true. But, guys, do you remember what else is a square technically? A rectangle and a
Rhombus.
And do you remember what the formula for rhombus is?
Base times height.
Diagonal times diagonal. Plus diagonal.
No, times. Times. Okay, you wrote that on another page. And so because of that, what would this whole diagonal be?
12.
And what would the other diagonal be?
12.
And isn't that way easier than doing anything else?
Yeah.
What's half of 12 times 12?
62. 72. Meters squared.
Y'all are looking real smart on this video right now.
Are you being
Okay,
sarcastic?
so let me say that again for those of you that are looking at me like, I don't even know what she did. If this is 6, what is the entire thing? 12.
12.
And since it's a square, what is this entire thing? 12 as well. So, since technically a square is a rhombus, I can just do this formula. I'm showing you this because really the 1/2 apothem times perimeter is never the way to go with a square. You would have to do radicals, you'd have to do your 45, 45, 90 rules. It makes it super complicated. This is way easier. Yes, ma'am. No, okay, sorry. The whole line is 12, and the whole line is 12. Yeah. You're right, though. Each individual one is 6. Okay, I'm moving on. I want you to write this one as your example 2, please. Write this one as your example 2.
Why do you keep putting umbrellas up there?
She just explained why.
There's not even rain on the screen. Whoa, why did the umbrella change colors?
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to teach, because Gavin. Find the area of a hexagon if the apothem is 9. So again, an apothem is from the center to the midpoint. It's 9. Cool. My formula is area equals 1/2 apothem times perimeter. So 1/2 of 9, what's my perimeter?
Question mark.
X.
Okay.
Okay.
You're going to love me, I know it. When in doubt. Now, Now, I don't know the angles, but I'm going to show you how to find the angles. Okay? Would you agree with me? Look up, please. Don't write. Just look up. Would you agree with me that if I had a hexagon, that technically at the center, ooh, what did I just do? At the center, I could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And don't you agree there exists a circle? No. And so how could I find each angle here?
360 divided by 6.
I would do 360 divided. Whoa.
What is that?
360. Okay. Divided by 6. Right? And what's that give me? 60. Now, goodness gracious. Because I'm just showing you that's how you find each angle. So, now, do you agree then this angle is 60?
Yeah, so then it would be an equal effort.
However, I did not draw that triangle.
Why not?
What did I draw? I cut, oh, that's not what I wanted. I cut, goodness gracious, I cut that in half. So if that whole thing was 60 and I draw the apothegm, how much is it really?
90.
It's going to be 30. Listen real quick. Listen. For any regular polygon, to find this angle, you're going to do 360 divided by the number of sides, so 6, and then divide it by 2. That's how you find this top angle, every time. Hey guys, for a hexagon, what's it always going to be?
6.
No.
Wait, 30.
30. Now that I know that that's 30, how does that even help me?
36.
How would I find,
Half.
what do I do to go from,
9 divided by 2. Never mind.
because it's around the 90. So then I have to rationalize. 9 squared root of 3 over 3 gives me.
3 square root of 3.
Now, that's this.
Times 2.
Why would we times 2?
Because that's half of that side.
Because that's half of the side, so what's the whole side?
6 square root of 3.
1 whole side is 6 square root of 3. And because it's regular, what's the perimeter then going to be?
36. 6 times 6, 36.
My perimeter would be 36 square roots of 3. Do I have any questions on how I just got that? I'll do that one more time. Do you see how I got 3 square roots of 3 right here? Because I went around the 90, so I divided. Now, if that's 3 square roots of 3, what's the whole side? If that's 3 square roots of 3, what's the whole side? 6 square roots of 3. And if there are 6 sides that are the same, what's 6 times 6 square roots of 3? So what's my perimeter? Cool. Now, just do this. Remember, radicals are just like x's. So I'm multiplying, so I would just do 1/2 times 9 times 36, which gives me what? 162. And then don't forget your square root of 3. And it doesn't give me any units, so I'm just going to do units squared. Do you see how this can get complicated quickly? Okay. And it's also one of those things, oh, Ms. Olivares, when you explain it, yeah, I get where you're going, but when it's in front of me, I don't know what to do. Yes, ma'am. Gloria. Are you sure? Yes, Crystal.
So when you do the things, so it's like you just get a 3, why did you go to that one and not like...
It don't matter, any of them. I just did it to show you that the whole side was 6 square roots of 3. Yeah, I could have done it down here. It was just for room. Can I change it?
No.
Well, I was like looking down for a quick second and then you found the area.
The perimeter is 36 square roots of 3. So I plugged that into the formula, and then I just multiplied those.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right here? Right here. Right here. Yes, I'm going to do it again in just a second. Okay. All right. Example 3. For example 3, what do I tell you?
Radius is 8.
Radius is 8. So how do you, what's a radius?
Half of the
The
diameter.
middle, the half of diameter.
Perfect. Draw it. Now, if you draw like a house, I think that's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to judge you if your pentagon isn't perfect. When in doubt? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these triangles get really small depending on what you do. So a lot of times what I like to do is like magnify it. Yeah.
Dilate and then
Dilate. There we go. Now, do I know anything else?
No. Besides that.
8.
Eight.
It's 8. I can find something else though.
The angle.
I can find this angle up here by doing what?
360 divided by 5.
Wait.
Five.
Why are you
Five.
dividing by 5?
Because there's 5 vertexes.
Beautiful. Or sides. Good.
Verti.
Sure.
Vertex.
360 divided by 5 is what?
40.
72.
Y'all use calculators. Quit trying to do things in your head.
Oh, perfect.
And 72 is my answer for the angle?
No, you have to
Why
divide
not?
By 2.
Gloria, because 72 would be this whole thing. But I cut it in half, so what's it going to be?
36.
Divided by 2, I called Gloria because she had asked that question. Does that make more sense? Okay, cool. So it's 36 degrees. You do 360 divided by how many sides there are. And then because I did half of the side right here, I got to do divided by 2. Okay, 360 divided by 5 because there are 5 sides. So that would give me this whole thing. That would give me the angle from there to there. Okay? And then I have to divide it by 2 because I did the apothem, which cuts it in half.
Wait, is that 72?
Correct. Yes.
So whenever you find the other angle over there, would that be the same as the actual angle of the picture?
This angle right here,
Yes. Would it be the same as the actual angle?
it would be right here. Just this angle right here. Does that make sense?
Oh, then
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do I need to know?
the angle down below.
The other
the
sides.
side down below.
Remember, I need 1/2 AP. I need an apothem.
Yeah. So you
Don't you agree that's an apothem?
Yes.
So this is an apothem? SOHCAHTOA. Okay? So which one am I going to use?
Sine of 36.
I have adjacent and,
Hypotenuse.
so what's that?
Cosine.
So I have the cosine of 36 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. How do I get the apothem?
You multiply cos 36
Okay.
by 8.
I'm going to tell you right now, everything you do from here on out needs to stay in your calculator. So although I'm rounding on my paper, I'm doing everything from the calculator. Can y'all see this calculator fine? Okay. So if I do, make sure you're in degrees. If I do 8 times the cosine, times the cosine of 36, I get 6.4. 6.5. I don't even care about rounding right now because I'm going to do everything from my calculator. Okay? I'm just writing this down to help me. So now I know 1/2, my apothem is 6.4. How am I going to find my perimeter? Well, what would I do? Don't I need to find this? So I'll call it X. Shh, y'all. And if I call this X, what am I going to use to find this? So I'm going to use sine of 36 equals X over hypotenuse. You could do Pythagorean theorem, but that would be like a whole nutcase, so I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
What do I do? So I'm going to do 8 sine of 36. And that gives me 4.7. That gives me my perimeter.
No. That's just one side.
Why would you multiply it by 5?
No, you don't multiply it by 5. You multiply it by 10.
You multiply by 2, then multiply by 5.
Not even.
Multiply 10.
Okay, because remember, this is just right here. which is the same thing as multiplying by.
10.
So you're right.
I didn't think about it.
Are you being rude? I said rude. Okay, so I want you to watch what I'm going to do. Please watch. Shh. I'm going to write in my formula, the perimeter is 10 times 4.7. Because you're right, or you could do times 2 times 5. It's all the same thing. Is everybody clear how I'm getting that? I'm not putting this in my calculator, though. Please watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 0.5 times, what's my apothem?
The 6.
6.4.
Arrow up. Don't round, just arrow up. Oh, close it. What's my perimeter?
That 4 one.
4, that's my perimeter?
I mean,
Times 10. Bam, there is my area.
Wham, bam.
So my area is 152.169 inches squared.
How did you get 10 times? Oh, 10 times 4.7.
Yeah, because remember I have to multiply it by 10 because it's only this half of the side.
Oh, I already did that and I got.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Just,
got a completely different answer for that.
did you get 47 point something?
I got 132 points.
Ooh, Amy, check her work in her calculator, see?
But I did round everything.
Don't round it until the very end. That's where you're gonna mess up if you round. It'll screw everything up. Okay, we have one more problem to do. Last problem. Example 4. I'm gonna give you about a minute to write it, a minute to process. Get off your phones. Okay.
What?
If I throw something at you, everything. Oh, never mind. It's on video. Just kidding.
Yeah. Your threats are on video. Your threats are recorded.
Mallory's gonna get on my side.
Is she really?
Yes. Yeah.
Alyssa will be on my side.
Alyssa's absent.
Exactly.
Okay. You have 1 minute to process. For real process.
I'm processing.
I thought it said rectangular hexagon.
Process.
What's the difference between a regular hexagon and an irregular hexagon?
It's all congruent, right?
That's great. What's a hexagon? A 5?
That's 6.
Swear.
Swear.
Okay, we have bigger problems. Yes. Okay, so for this problem, you need to listen to this. For this problem, the area of a regular hexagon is 168 square roots of 3. Things you need to consider. If it's a regular hexagon, it's going to be area equals 1/2 AP. My area is 168 square roots of 3. 1/2. What's my apothem? What's my perimeter?
We don't know.
What do we know?
360 divided by 6.
The only thing I can figure out right now is that I can figure out that angle by doing 360 divided by 6, which is
36. I mean, like 10. Wait, what? No.
60 divided by 2 is, and again, I'm going to magnify or dilate that triangle. Actually, I take back what I said. I want your pencils down. I want y'all to watch.
What?
I'll give you time to write down. So we just figured out that that's 30. Please watch. I know nothing else. Literally, there is zilch I know. However, if I remember correctly, I can call across from the 30, the short leg, x. And if I call that x, what is my entire side?
2x.
And if my entire side would be 2x, what would my perimeter be?
6x.
2x. 6 times 2x.
12x.
Does everybody see how I just got the perimeter is 12x?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let me say that again. If this is x, then what's the entire side? And then how many sides are there? So 6 times 2 is?
12.
Okay. We have a perimeter. Woo-hoo. Now,
Kazoodle.
I want my apothem.
You just plug it in.
What am I going to do if I go around the 90?
You're gonna get x times the square root of 2.
X times the square root of 3. So my apothem then becomes, you're not writing, you're watching. From here, look, I have my A is x square root of 3. My P is 12x. And I can solve for x. Please watch. I can simplify this. It's multiplying. What's half of 12?
6.
Everybody see where I just got that 6? Okay. What's x times x? And then nothing else, so I bring down the square root of 3. Watch. Redo that. What's half of 12?
6.
What's x times x?
X squared.
And then I just bring down the square root of 3 because nothing's like it. Can't combine it with, there's no other radical. So then I'm going to bring down this. Just watch. And can I get x by itself? How?
You just solve it. That's what you do.
Divided by 6 square roots of 3.
Those cancel, those cancel. Those cancel. What's 168 divided by 6? 28 equals x squared. What do I do?
Square root of x.
Square root it. And of course, Miss Olivar is just the sweetest thing you've ever met. And so she's not going to let you use a decimal.
Why not?
I'm not going to let you use a decimal.
Why?
What do I do?
Too confusing.
What do I do?
You
square root it.
What does that give me?
7 and 4.
7 and 4. And what's the square root of 4?
2.
So, x is 2 to the square root of 7. And everybody's like, cool, we're done. And I'm like,
No.
what's the question?
You have to plug it in.
Luckily, watch. Luckily, I was super nice that I gave you a formula for a perimeter. It was 12x. Well,
So you plug it in.
what's x?
2 square root of 7. Can we write now?
Not yet. What's perimeter then? What's 12 times 2 squared root of 7?
24 square root of 7.
Now you can write it down.
So is that our answer?
That's your answer. Okay,
You just bark?
write it down.
Steven, did you just bark?
Yes.
No, her work's terrible.
Are you serious? Look at this.
Okay, I need y'all to be... Did we? Oh, yeah. Okay, I need you to watch this.
Hi, welcome to Moo Moo Math. Today we're going to look at the difference
Unsubscriber.
Hey,
inscribed means and what's
y'all, for real. You can't hear it if you don't be quiet.
Can we restart it?
It's inscribed and circumscribed, not circumcised.
That's something good.
Okay, we're not.
What?
All right, Clay, shush.
Welcome to Moo Moo Math. Today we're going to look at the difference
Do you even know
between
what that
what inscribed means
Be quiet,
and
be
what
quiet.
circumscribed means when we're talking about polygons and circles. Okay, first inscribed. We have a triangle and we're going to have it inscribed in a circle. So I'm going to draw the circle around it. So we say this triangle is inscribed in a circle. Now, what if the circle is inscribed in a polygon? Well, that just means it's going to be on the inside. So let me draw a quadrilateral, but it could be any shape. I've got a quadrilateral around the circle. So we say the circle is inscribed in the polygon. Okay? Now, for it to be inscribed, all the vertices need to touch the circle, and the circle has to be tangent to the polygon. So these are points of tangency. They touch in one point. Okay, now let's look at circumscribed. Okay, if this polygon is circumscribed about a circle, that means the circle is inside of it. So we say the polygon is circumscribed about the circle. And then if the circle is circumscribed about a polygon, I'll just draw a polygon inside. It can be any size polygon. In this case, I've got a hexagon inside it. So I would say the circle is circumscribed about the polygon. So that's the difference between inscribed and circumscribed. So a polygon that is inscribed in a circle means the polygon is inside. A circle that's inscribed in a polygon is on the inside.
Okay, I want you to pause real quick because I need to talk about your homework tonight. On your homework, one of the problems says it's inscribed, and so the radius of the circle is whatever. If that's the case, can I write on this video? Let's find out. If that's the case, then your radius would be, let me draw this picture myself, watch out. Watch out.
Why are you behind her desk?
She doesn't like people behind her desk right now.
Alright, if this is the case and you have a circle or a polygon inscribed, that means it's in, I'm really bad at drawing, so just bear with me. Oh, that was pretty good. Alright,
Wow.
if I tell you a radius, the radius of the circle will be a radius of a polygon. It's normal. That's if it's inscribed. If it's circumscribed, though, I have a circle and I have, oh, I'm really bad at drawing, man. Okay. And I have my polygon on the outside. Please watch. On your homework, it says the radius of the circle. Excuse me. My radius of the circle
It's also the radius of the triangle.
The apostle.
does not go all the way to the radius of the triangle.
Oh.
Do you see that? So, what I need to do, or what you need to realize, is that if it's circumscribed, then your radius of your circle ends up being what to the triangle, or to the polygon? It ends up being the apothem. So sometimes you need to pay attention to the wording to know whether it's a radius or an apothem. Does that make sense? Okay, that's all we're doing today. I'm going to pass out your homework. Let me stop this recording. Bye. Thank